Hello, and welcome to Optimize Profitability Season 2. This is part 4 of our 4-part series titled The Only 4 Ways to Increase Your Profits in Business. These are the core fundamentals that every business needs to understand. My host today is business coach Lyle Leeds. So let's jump right into part 4. Lyle,
Cool.
Go on.
So let's talk about our first 3 pillars so far. And if you haven't been watching these videos, go back and watch them because we gave you some really cool tips on each of them. So pillar number 1 was what, Matthew?
Pillar number 1, you know what? I can't remember off the top of my head.
More leads. You got to have more customers come in if you want to increase your profits. Without customers, your business dies. What's the next one? Do you know?
Part 2 is offering the upsell, right?
Nope. Part 2 is increasing how frequent your customer comes in. Part 3 is increasing the amount of money per order or the average spend. And number 4, if you were to guess, what would number 4 be?
I assume tying it all in together and keeping your customers.
How would you increase profitability? You could raise what?
Raise your profits?
Raise your prices.
Really?
Yes, raise your prices. So if I have a $100 product and I raised it to 110, I've just made a 10% increase just by simple raising my profits. I'm raising my prices. You got me saying profits now. Okay. So, but a lot of people, this one's huge. Please, 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 please pay attention to this episode if you don't pay attention to anything else, because so many people lose it here. The first thing people think about, oh, we don't have enough customers. Let's just raise our profits and we'll do better. No. The other 3 levers have to be in place before you can raise profits. If you raise prices first, you got me saying profit. If you raise prices first, you're going to blow away your customers. You're going to lose that expectation of your customers. You're going to lose the value of your customers. Let's be honest. So whenever you're increasing profits, it's huge to understand how to do this. You can't have an arbitrary increase of prices. I can't just say, well, it was COVID, so I'm going to raise everything 50%. That's not a real reason. People don't see that as a real reason because on their end, they see that I've lost money this year. So why would I give you more money? They're just going to go to another customer. And here is, let's go some psychology for a minute. People automatically think that sometimes they want to go to the cheaper person rather than the more expensive person, don't they? Well, I'm going to get a better deal if I pay $5,000 for this than if I pay $3,000 because they're $2,000 better. It's a psychology that people think the higher price things are better. So make sure you understand if you cheapen your prices, you also cheapen the value of your company. How many companies have you seen that has a sale every week? Matthew and I go to this, we take a little drive, and on the left-hand side, as we come around this curve, there's this mattress place. What's it always say, Matthew?
It's always saying like 50% off a mattress, or like, come on in, we got a sale, special mattress sale.
It's said going out of business for the last 3 years, going out of business sale.
We must be talking about a different mattress place.
There's a mattress place, a big white truck out front says going out of business sale. It's a mattress place, been there for 4 years, the exact same thing. Do you think I'm going to go in there for the sale 3 years later?
No, because it feels like you're being lied to too.
Exactly. So there's an integrity issue. So when you just randomly throw out an extra price and everything, it makes a difference. People will take notice. So let's talk about sales for a minute. Some people, to get customers to come in, that first lever, they'll do a sell, buy one, get one free, or 10% off or 20% off. But what happens when you do that? What are you doing to the psychology of the person? You're telling that person that's the value of that item. So if I come into a restaurant and they give me 50% off, I probably won't go back to that restaurant for full price unless I really love it. Again, if you got those 3 other levers going, if you've increased the value of the customer, you brought me in as a customer, and now you've set a higher expectation for me, and you've got a reason for me to come back, I will come back. That's why these 4 levers go together, because if you just increase the price, I'm looking at it as the price I paid previously. There's a restaurant in town. I'm not going to mention who they are or whatever, but a certain day of the week, they had a buy one, get one free when you brought takeout from them. So my wife and I would go there and we would eat with them because that was our little mini date night. We thought it was cute. Well, then they increased their prices to the regular price and said, no, we're not doing that anymore. That was just during a certain time period. So now my wife and I are like, do we want to eat there? Well, we could eat the place next door for the same price and it's got better food. But we're eating at that one because they had the buy one, get one free. So they had in my brain set up a price that I'm willing to pay for them. So whenever you're giving coupons out, coupons is the worst thing you can do as a business, as a growing business. And I know some people like to go in there like, you know what? I need more customers. That first lever, I need more customers coming in. So I've got to give a whole bunch of coupons out to get them to come in. That does not evaluate your prices. Do you follow me? So we're talking about pricing. There's a lot of psychology here. Have you ever gone to the movies and bought popcorn, Matthew?
Yes.
How much did it cost?
$4 for the small and $8 for the large.
Okay, so they have a $4 small, a $6 medium, and a $7.50 large.
Large with the collectors.
Exactly. But see, the large is only $1.50 more, but it's twice as much. It seems like it's a better value, right?
Correct.
That's the psychology of pricing. They have a 3-tier structure. So the $7.50 sounds really good compared to the $6. So we have a targeted price set in our mind. It's usually $6, but you know, for $1.50 more, I can get this bigger one, and it's refillable. Do you know how much popcorn costs?
Probably like 50 cents, right?
Costs like 5 cents.
Jeez.
Per serving. You add the butter, it may be up to 10 cents. You add the cup, it may be 25 cents. So for 25 cents, you just paid $7.50. Why? Because you're in a movie theater. You're a closed audience, and you have to buy it from there. You can't bring, unless you're smuggling stuff in. It's hard to smuggle popcorn in. But anyway, we won't talk about that.
Never thought about that.
But that's called price anchoring. Price anchoring means you've set the price and you do it. If you ever get on a webinar and they're trying to sell a high price program, let's say it's $1,000 program. If you're service industry, please pay attention to this because this is huge. You're going to list out, here's the 5 things you're going to get on this. This one's worth $500. This one's worth $500. This one's worth $1,000. This one's worth $1,000, $1,000. And what they're doing is they're setting in your brain a psychology of a price point of $1,000. When they set that in and they say, oh, but you get all 5 of these for $1,000, you in your brain have been psychologically anchored for the $1,000 price already. That's an expected price in your brain. So when they say it's $1,000, oh, it's on sale today for $597. Now your brain's like, oh, I'm getting a good deal. But if you went back and just took those 5 things and laid them out on a shelf, would you actually buy that for $597? Probably not. But the way they did is they psychologically laid out what they're offering and made it sound like this huge, big sell thing. So the reason I'm talking about this, because in pricing, we automatically want to increase our prices, but we don't understand how to increase our value. The reason I'm telling you that is because there's 2 points to this. Number one is price anchoring. Make sure you're anchoring your prices so that your highest price item looks like the best deal ever based on the anchor of the price of the previous ones. And number 2, make sure that you're anchoring the price based on the value that you're receiving. So Matthew, I'm going to hold you on the carpet here for a minute. Okay. So let's say that I wanted to get a digital storefront from you. And you said this digital storefront is going to be $5,000.
Okay.
As a customer, do I have any questions or comments about that? That's just a base price, right?
Some people will probably ask like, why so much or whatever, maybe.
Exactly. So if you just said this is how much it is, you didn't lay out the value to it. Hey, look, we're going to custom build this page for you. We're going to input individual SKUs for all of your products. We're going to lay out pictures for each of your products. And you're going to lay out all the stuff you're going to do. And now all of a sudden you've increased this value. You're like, wow, I'm getting all this for $5,000. And then you come behind there and say, you know what? If you purchase it today, we can give it to you for $4,500. That's 10% savings, right?
Yep.
That's $500 less. Is it a good deal? Did you lose $500 or did you gain a customer?
You gained a customer.
All right. But what are you going to do on the back end? Now, again, remember we got those 3 levers. Now you increase the value they spend. You increase the frequency. And so when you start using those levers, and if you see me on the video, you'll see I'm using my hands for all the different levers. When you understand how those 4 levers work together, so now if I discount my price, I should have to include something. For $4,500 we can do it, but if you add that, but for $500 we'll do all of your social media branding for an entire month. We're going to lay out your social media for this and this and this and this and this and this. You brought it back up to the $5,000 level. You've brought that value back up, but you've added something as a bonus there. Now, that's different than what if I said this, Matthew? Would you pay $500 for additional social media stuff? Probably not, because you just took a discount. But what if I came in and I said, hey, this digital storefront is $5,000. By the way, if you act this week only, I'm going to include entire social media branding. I'm going to include Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Google My Business.
Instagram, Pinterest.
Exactly. Am I more likely to buy or less likely to buy?
More likely to buy because the value's there.
Exactly. So what I've done is I've not discounted my price, but I've added value. Do you see the difference?
I do see the difference.
So when you arbitrarily change your pricing, you increase a price by 10, 20, 30%, your customers already have an anchored price in their brain. So I'll tell you an example. I used to run a restaurant, and we were having trouble making all of our money pieces fit. And everybody said, you should increase your prices. You know, you're charging too cheap for this, too cheap for that. And we talked about it, and we said, you know what? Let's just increase the price of a drink by 50 cents. And then we started suggesting drinks. So again, what did I do? I increased the price lever. I increased the amount per order lever just by 50 cents, but that totally changed the dynamics of our restaurant pricing structure, because an additional soda, that 50 cents actually made me a $2 profit.
Wow.
So it was a small increase, but that small increase, because of the cost of goods sold, which again, we're not going to get into numbers on this one. We can get on a really deep structure here, but the cost of goods sold was not significant enough for that 50-cent increase, but it wasn't that big of a deal for our people. So instead of me increasing the price of my pasta plate by $2, I just increased the drink, and I asked people to buy it more frequently. How cool is that? So you see how the structures are when people do the VIP. I mean, when people do the price changes, they want a reason to have a price increase. So I might create a VIP club. Why would I create a VIP club?
Make you feel special about what you're doing.
Exactly. So we're going back to lever number 3, the experience factor. So now, why did the popcorn for $7.50? Why did it sound like it's a better deal? Because now you get this collectible bucket.
Yep.
Truth be told, that bucket didn't cost them any more than the other bucket. You know why?
I don't know why, actually. I thought it cost more.
Of the bucket.
Say again, you cut out on the audio.
What is on the outside of the bucket?
On the outside of the bucket, usually when it's not a collector's item, it's like red and white stripes.
No, what's on the outside of it when it's a collector's item?
Oh, when it's a collector's item, it's usually like the newest movie, the hottest movie in the theater right now.
Exactly. And who pays for that additional printing on there?
It's probably the movie company, right?
Exactly. It's an exposure.
Oh, how?
So now this
this
company has price anchored you to buy this thing of popcorn for $7.50, and it doesn't cost them any additional to have the collectors because somebody else is paying for that. So they've offset the price.
Wow.
Do you see it? Do you see how powerful that is? So when we talk about pricing is such a bigger structure than just adding more zeros to something. You've got to increase the value. So let's just break it down real quickly. What if I have to increase it? What if I sell hamburgers and I've sold hamburgers for $5 my entire business life, but the price of beef went up by 20%? Now I've got to sell that hamburger for $6 to get that same amount of profit for myself, right? So what could I do different? Number one, I might sell a space on my menu board for the company that sells me the burgers. That's another way to increase my price. That's a way to increase my price without increasing my price. That makes sense?
Yep.
But let's go to psychology here. If I have to increase my price, I'm going to be flat out honest with my customers. Hey, customers, let me let you know, I want to charge only $5, but we have to increase our prices to $7 because the price of beef has gone up. And because the price of beef has gone up, I've got to pass that on to my customers because I want this to be the highest value to you. Sure, I could buy cheaper meat, but I wouldn't serve you well if I buy cheaper meat. I want to give you the biggest, best quality. So if you're going to have to increase prices, there's got to be an actual reason. You can't just say cost of goods went up, so I'm gonna have to do more. Make it a specific reason and celebrate it. Hey, we've got higher quality meat now. Come in. Our prices are $7 and we're going to include a soda. Again, the soda costs you like 15, 20 cents. So you've increased the price, but now you've increased the price and you've added value. Adding the value makes all the difference in the world. So let's recap our levers. The only 4 levers you can do to increase profitability. Our whole podcast is optimized profitability. So number 1, get more customers, understand marketing. Number 2, get customers to come back more frequently, understand owning your audience. Number 3, get customers to purchase more, understand your sales system and your upsells. And number 4, understand your pricing, understand your anchoring of prices, and understand how the psychology of that fits into selling more to your customers. If you increased each of those at just 10%, that'd be a 40% increase for your business this year. Bam. Knowledge bomb.
Awesome. All right. That is part 4 of our titled series, 4 ways, the only 4 ways to increase profits in your business. If you've missed any of the previous episodes, you can find them on dfwtalk.com/podcast, any podcast stream you're using currently. I'm Matthew with Optimized Profitability. Lyle,
I'm Lyle, and our next ones, we're going to be kicking off more of these. We're going to be focusing on those 4 areas. We're going to be talking about some entrepreneur stories, but we're also going to do a little more training time on season 2 than what we've done previously, because we're going to talk about a lot of different things that have come out from our previous episodes. So I hope you join us in season 2. Make sure you leave comments, questions on our Facebook page, especially ask questions, because your questions are going to feed the rest of our season. So I hope to see you on our online with comments and questions. I'm Lyle, and I'll see you on our next podcast thing. There we go.
Next podcast.